you.
As Jay said, my name is Chet Myers. I'm the project engineer for this project with Apex. So one of the little corollaries that we'd like to just discuss really quickly is Bremerhaven in Germany. Bremerhaven has a number of parallels with the city of New Bedford. It was founded in 1827. It was a large fishing port. Much of its economy depended on fishing, and had a serious decline in the 80s and 90s. The port was able to transform itself as an offshore wind staging location without affecting its existing industry. Now, the industry that left typically was manufacturing industries that they wanted to replace. And it was able to transform itself, use its existing industrial capacity to support wind staging for the country of Germany. And it had a huge economic upturn. And the hope is that this facility will have the same economic stimulus for the city of New Bedford. In addition to Bremerhaven in Germany, Cuxhaven had also a similar experience. So it wasn't just one location in Germany that had this economic turnaround. Okay, so as Jay said, the facility consists of approximately 28 acres. There's currently, if you review the documents online, there's currently approximately 2 configurations of some of the on-land portions. And some of that real estate work is currently being worked out with the Commonwealth right now. However, the total amount is going to be approximately 28 acres. The facility, the part of the facility that abuts the water right here is the heavy lift portion of the facility, and the balance of the facility is for ancillary storage and other components. This is the existing south terminal bulkhead right here, and the project involves extending the bulkhead approximately 1,000 feet to the south and creating new, essentially staging space within this area right here, which consists of some intertidal area, a tiny little piece of salt marsh right here on the southern part right here, and then filling of some subtidal areas immediately adjacent to the harbor. We're just going to take a quick break. We set up some more chairs for people back there.
One other thing, we're getting a number of additional chairs out. There's probably about 10 seats also up in this area in the front for folks who might want to sit down. Sorry about that.
Essentially, when this facility is being utilized to support offshore renewable energy, the heaviest components would be staged at this main part of the facility. The lighter components, which typically for offshore renewable energy would involve blades, which are particularly long but not particularly heavy, would be able to be staged at other locations. And that's one of the reasons there's some of these narrow corridors to allow the wind blades to get to other locations. The primary access road for the facility would be along Blackmore Street. However, there would be opportunities to utilize Gifford Street periodically, although that wouldn't be the primary access route, and potentially Grove Street, although once again, very unlikely that would be a main route for the facility. Most of the truck traffic would be on Blackmore Street, very likely.
You may want to say that multiple components will come in back.
Right, that's correct. When I was talking about truck traffic, I was mostly talking about potential reuse of the facility for cargo. When the facility is going to be utilized for offshore renewable energy, the components would most likely be coming in by ship and leaving by ship as well. So the truck traffic would mostly be primarily during construction, and then potentially when the facility was being utilized for cargo. So. Okay, so this shows some of the components of the actual project, and I'll just try to explain them right here. This yellow part and these little ancillary green parts are the parts that we just sort of went over with regard to the land components associated with the project. This purple part right here is the channel and the boat basins that would have to be dredged. It involves dredging deeper some existing boat basins, and then also dredging some shallow area that is not currently used for any kind of commercial or deep draft use to a deeper depth to allow access to this area, which is immediately south of the South Terminal facility. Some areas in the federal channel would also have to be dredged slightly deeper. There's some existing recreational moorings that would be displaced by this dredging, and there's some compensatory mitigation dredging that would be completed within the Gifford Street mooring field that would allow some of the recreational vessels that are displaced to be relocated to areas that are currently too shallow to allow the use of recreational vessels. So that would mitigate for impacts associated with that. The material that would have to be removed from the top, which has some impact by PCBs, would be placed into a CAD cell, and currently the CAD cell that's being proposed is up here, CAD cell number 3. There's mitigation associated with the project that is comprised of 3 different aspects. There's some wetlands that are being proposed to be constructed within a stormwater drainage swale behind the hurricane barrier, right over here between Gifford Street and Cove Street. There's an area that would be, an intertidal area that would be created, as well as other impacted sediments that would be capped to enhance this area immediately outside of the hurricane barrier. And then there's an area down here called the winter flounder mitigation area that's being specifically designed to compensate for impacts to winter flounder. This is located to the south near the Butler Flats Lighthouse. It's an area that's currently deeper than other surrounding areas and would be shallowed to an elevation that it is understood would encourage winter flounder to spawn within that area. So, James, okay. So essentially, currently what's planned is the dredging of a 175-foot wide channel with an adjacent 100-foot wide tug channel. Vessels that would come in would come in along the federal channel. They would come up to in front of State Pier, and they would turn in this area right here, which would be a little turning basin, and they would be able to then come straight down to the facility to berth. So the channel was designed with the existing uses at South Terminal completely in mind. So as a result, there's a buffer that's been sort of integrated into the design to allow a large area right here so that it wouldn't disrupt the commercial fishing traffic that would be typically transiting to and from South Terminal, docking there and loading and unloading their catch to the fish houses that are right there. So the good news is that the fishing vessels would be able to use this area, but the vessels that would be going to the South Terminal facility would not. So that area would be essentially completely isolated from any of the traffic that's going back and forth from the South Terminal. However, this would actually widen the area that commercial fishing vessels could use to maneuver in front of South Terminal. So the commercial fishing vessels would end up with approximately 100 feet of a wider space to be able to maneuver in front of South Terminal, while still preserving this area right in front of South Terminal that it would be, the vessels going in and out would be unable to interfere with any of the work that's going on in that location.
100 feet wider than
That's right. It's 100 feet wider than what is currently available in front of South Terminal. So this is just a close-up of the mitigation areas that are proposed for recreational boating. They're areas that are currently shallow within the Gifford Street mooring basin, and those areas would be deepened to allow moorings to be placed within this area, most particularly the moorings that would be displaced in association with the creation of the new channel. This right here just shows, because the facility is being installed approximately where the existing Gifford Street channel actually is. This is the, right here is the Gifford Street boat ramp, and there's a little boat basin right here in front of the Gifford Street boat ramp, and the old channel kind of ran right about like that. Because the facility is being installed in this area, the channel is going to be realigned to allow recreational boating to continue to access the channel as it had before the construction. And this would be realigned so that the vessels could come on out and get to the area that's deep enough for them to be able to access the rest of the harbor.